Welcome back to In Depth with Academia. I'm Price founder and CEO academia.edu, and today I have a paper to unpack. Remember, I'm here to present research in a neutral way, not endorse it or offer my own opinion. This episode we're talking about Digital Evidence Computer, a forensic analysis of the Silicon Frontier by P. Bellison. Ooh, that title alone promises a lot, huh? So let's dive right in. The core question this paper poses is, how has FOR evolved to meet the challenges and changes in our society's leap toward digitization? And what does that mean, honestly, for you? Like, if you use a smartphone, shop online, or ever forgotten a weird password you had to reset. You are actually caught up this of forensic science. Wild, right? Why is this significant? Well, think about it. We used to rely on fingerprints and physical footprints at a scene, but now the evidence might be encrypted messages, deleted, or traces your web browser. The whole nature of crime has shifted, and with it, the methods for collecting, preserving, and analyzing evidence. This affects everything from privacy to your day-to-day sense of security, and it even matters for how crimes are prosecuted or how you protect your Bellison's paper through the history of digital criminology, and sort of builds this fascinating timeline from the transistor in the 194s up to the rise of artificial intelligence and quantum computing threats today. I mean, it's like the history of computers and history of crime are now totally entangled. The way we live has just shifted. I mean, who among us keeps paper receipts for everything? Well, maybe grandmother, but... Sorry, digression, back on... Right, big findings and arguments. What does Bellison highlight? First, there's idea data integrity, making sure that digital evidence hasn't been tampered with. So, if someone tries to doctor a digital file, crypt hash functions like SHA-256 can even teeny tiny changes. Seriously, change a single bit and you get a whole different digital fingerprint. That's impressive. This is key for, making sure evidence stands up in court. But Bellison doesn't stop there. Did you know the concept of the chain of custody is now getting blockchain treatment? Yeah, blockchain isn't just for weird internet coins. Using blockchain, every step in the life of a digital file, who handled it when, gets logged in a way that can't be edited after the fact. So if you're ever accused of something or even just need to prove something digitally, this is how your digital life gets organized and defended. Just as interesting are the differences between operating systems. Bellison talks. Windows versus Linux. Windows is all about registry hives and things like prefetch files, while Linux, it's bash histories and SSH credentials, kind of like two different landscapes where forensics detectives need different shoes. Digital is clunky metaphor, but you get what I mean. Another big point is automation manual inspection simply doesn't it anymore because we're drowning, absolutely flawed with digital stuff. So the field now artificial intelligence, convolutional neural networks for spotting malware in files, or long short-term memory networks for catching strange activity over time. Here's a twist. Bell notes that because courts need to see the logic, not just black box answers, there's a strong focus now on explainable AI. So an algorithm at just say red, it's got to show its work, like your math in high school. Yes, your math teacher was right all along, showing your work really does matter. You might expect a paper like this to only about tech, but Bellison also looks hard at the human side. Cybercrime doesn't just steal your money or it messes your sense of safety. Paper points that people affected by cyber attacks often struggle with anxiety, insomnia, and PTSD. So it's not just zeros and ones. The psychological impact is very, very real. And as always, remember, this is reported in the paper, not coming from me. All of this is layered on top of big legal questions. Courts are, constantly playing catch-up. The so-called equilibrium adjustment theory says that as till the balance toward more surveillance or more privacy, legal frameworks have to adjust and try to keep things fair. So it's like a never arms race. New tech, new laws, workarounds fun, or maybe exhausting, depends on your perspective. Looking ahead, the paper argues that quantum computing is on the horizon, and, once those get powerful, our current encryption could be broken. So the urgency for new post-quantum cryptography is really big, like protect your secrets now unless you want some quantum computer laughing at your password in a few years. If you're listening, what does this mean for you? It means The ways you interact with technology aren't just personal, they're part of a global shift in how we, about evidence, privacy, and security. Maybe it's worth checking those privacy settings or learning a little about how your data is stored. Just in. Remember, all these insights come from Bellison's research. I'm here to present, not to persuade. As always, academic research is just one piece of an ever-changing puzzle. To start exploring, not the end-all truth. Thanks much for tuning in to In Depth with Academia. Stay curious, ask questions, and I'll see you next time.